Hi again, Sue Viskovich here with another Moment with Sue, and I am with someone, if you've been in this industry for more than 5 minutes, you would know this face. This is the lovely Julie Berry.
Good morning.
And right now, well at the moment, Julie, you are a director of the Tax Practitioners Board.
That's correct. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Now, what I wanted to grab you for was you were just doing a session here at the FPA Congress, and something that really stood out to me, everybody always talks about not falling foul of the regulator. We need to make sure that we're following ASIC's rules, and we're scared of ASIC. Well, not scared of, but we want to make sure that we're working well with ASIC. But they don't tend to realise yet that the Tax Practitioners Board is a regulator.
That's absolutely true, and I think they don't realise the consequence of not doing the right thing with the Tax Practitioners Board. Let's call it the TPB. Because really, the TPB can stop you doing your day-to-day business. If you're not meeting the requirements you need to meet, we can terminate your membership or your registration, and we can actually say to you, look, you can't reapply for a couple of years. So falling foul of the TPB is equally, if not more weighty than falling foul of ASIC. And we really don't get a lot of mention in a lot of places. So we do a lot of webinars and training to try and help people understand their obligations. But for example, let's talk about sufficient number, which is how many people you need in your business to provide competent services and to do supervision. If you've nominated, we'll call them Fred and Mary, to be your sufficient number, and then Fred decides, no, I want to move and leave, and you now don't have those two people in your sufficient number, and you forget to tell the TPB, then you're not meeting your registration requirements. And if that comes to light, then we are actually in a position where we might have to say to you, I'm sorry, your business can't be registered.
Right.
And if your business can't be registered, you can't be registered.
You don't have a livelihood
particularly
anymore.
for the licensee. So, you know.
So the purpose of this is not to frighten people and go, oh God, there's another regulator, this is all too hard. The purpose of the Tax Practitioners Board is that pretty much every piece of advice you ever give as an advisor has some tax element to it.
Absolutely true.
Right. So we need to make sure that professional people who are giving that advice to consumers are registered properly, they're standing by the code of ethics and so forth. There was another thing that you mentioned in the session that was, so two things. One being, if you've gained entry or registered, I don't know the right word, you've used the pathway of having been part of an association. Do you want to touch on that?
So one of the pathways that was available, particularly for longer standing financial advisors, was if you are a member of a recognised professional association, so FPA, AFA, CPA, CAANZ, there's a number of them, you could register providing you had 6 years out of the last 8 years providing advice. So a lot of our more mature advisors, including myself, came in through that pathway. But what people need to understand is if you decide not to be a member of that association anymore, you're actually not able to keep your registration. And you have to then try and get through and be registered under a different pathway, which may or may not include education requirements, courses that you would need to do, and that's a little bit daunting. So if you've registered under that pathway, you've got to maintain your ability to stay registered under that pathway. Not that you'd want to leave your association anyway.
Of course not. Of course not.
Good to know.
And you are making sure that your code or the registration is aligned with FASEA, with the new rules coming in around education?
We've certainly had a look at our code, both against the FPA's code that our advisors already are a part of, and also looking at the FASEA code and talking a lot to FASEA about how people register with the TPB versus how they're going to be able to be an advisor in the future. So we're having those conversations to try and make sure we have some sort of alignment in there. But the key thing that the Tax Practitioner Board is there for is to protect consumers by making sure people giving this advice are the professional people we want. So,
fantastic. Really great analogy around why people pay a professional, why people trust a professional. If you're going to a specialist and they say that operation is going to cost you $5,000, you've never met this person before, but you trust them for all these different reasons. And this is one of them because we are regulated. We do need to do continual professional development and sign up to a code.
We do.
Last point I want to make, because we always have these quick moments with, so it's a bit longer this one, but in terms of people getting access to awareness of the TPB and what they are adhering to and what they need to be signing up to and sticking with, your webinars, is that the best way to stay in touch?
We have a lot of webinars. We run webinars quite a lot. You can find the information on our website. We have YouTube videos that show people how to complete forms and talk them through the process. And we have a fantastic team who, due to the fact that so many TFAs are now part of our regulation, understand financial planning now and are able to help people with questions if they're not sure, particularly about business structures and that kind of thing. So,
great.
We're here to help, really.
As many people know, Julie was the chair of the FPA for many years. She ran her own financial planning business. You only sold it recently, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So we have somebody on the board who understands financial advice, and I'm sure and I'm sure that that's a really big strength for all of us. So thanks very much. That's all about the TPB.
It is.
Bye.